hello. How are you guys? As you can see, I'm trying to set up my camera a bit differently again, the way I used to have it, I suppose. I'm not sure if it's going to last because it's a bit precarious and it's in my road as well, but I thought we'd give it a go, just making sure that my cable is still in because my phone isn't charging, and putting it on silent so we're not interrupted. So I don't have any new vintage items today. I mean, I could show you some, but it's just stuff. I think I went through most of it the other day anyway. But I thought I'd just catch you up on the bowl I'm making. So I decided to do a pinch pot. This is the inside that I'm showing you. Still got a bit of work to go, as you can see. I've started embellishing the outside. So let's turn that through and have a look at the outside. I'm not sure. There's a few elements on here that I'm not convinced I like. I'm not sure about the neon pink. I'm certainly not convinced I like these crystals around here. That's not something I'd normally put on something like this, but when I was looking through my stash, I saw those sitting there and I thought, I wonder if that would look any good. But yes, I'm not sure, not convinced. Now, you know what? I've been stitching this inside, and as I've mentioned before, the reason I do these videos out here is because the light is so much better than inside. Now that I've got this outside, I can see so many issues with it. Things I've missed, and this staining on this piece of lace that I can't see it inside. So I've sort of let the lace sort of hang over a bit, just for a bit of interest and texture, I suppose. Now there's a darning stitch there I've missed. There's a couple here and there. I've stitched this piece of lace on. Not convinced I like that either. I've done this bit on the bottom. A bit of hand crocheted lace, but it actually looks like I need to stitch that centre down a bit. I've only done around the outside and it's popping up a bit. So that's what I'm up to with that bowl. Yeah, not entirely convinced I love it yet, but I'm going to keep going, see what happens. I was going to show you the needle book I'm trying to put together as well. I've started pulling bits at least. It's cold out here today, so I'm focusing on that a little bit too much. The other thing is that I wanted to raise while I think of it. You can see my needles sticking through there. Let's thread this up and I'll show you what I mean. Where have I put that? Okay. This is what I'm using at the moment to stitch. Oh, no wonder it's so nice. This is not one that I want to use for stitching. This was one that I paid a fortune for a while ago for something else, but oh well. Too late now because I've used most of it on this pot. I actually bought this for a project, a specific project. But there we go. So let's thread our needle up. I haven't been, if you follow me you'll notice I haven't been very active on social media lately, and there's still a couple of emails I need to respond to, but I've just had the last 2 days I've just very deliberately made some, oh, I didn't want that knot. I've very deliberately made some me time where I can just sit and try and rest a bit, because I got to a point where I'm a bit exhausted, beyond exhausted to be honest. So I've just been trying to take a bit of a break. I haven't had a break for goodness knows how long. So this, because I've already done can you please stop barking, mate? It's the neighbour that lives there that comes all the time. You know these people. Willow, please. I'm too tired for this today. Willow, please go and lay down. Go and lay down, please. Because I've already stitched the outside layer, and I wasn't concerned, you can see here, if those stitches show through. In fact, I deliberately stitched up and down with the outside layer, because I prefer the way the stitch sits. When I stitch like this, when I do like the running stitch, and I'm not going all the way through, I'm making sure I'm just grabbing that wool underneath. But what happens when I do that, that's when we get, see how it's really puffy and sort of gathers in? That's because we're stitching like that. If I was to be going up and down and up and down, you don't get that happen. So please stop yelling at the neighbours. It's not necessary. Willow, you know what? She only ever seems to bark when I'm on a video. Go and lay down on your bed, please. Hey. Hey. Willow, listen to Mum, please. Go and lay down. On your bed, quick. Go and lay down. Stop yelling at the neighbours, please. Willow. Willow, go and lay down. You've been very disobedient today. Come on, quick. Quick. Quick, Sticks. Go and lay down on your bed. Go on, quick. Goodness me. So, yes, back to stitching, for goodness sake. What I was going to say is I've got this habit of using this finger to push the needle. I think I need to find a thimble of some kind. The thimbles I've tried in the past, I haven't been able to work with. They've been either too cumbersome, or I haven't been able to feel what I'm doing. So it just, just hasn't worked. But the head of the needle keeps going through my finger and it's getting incredibly painful. All those two fingers and that thumb are very sore from the stitching I've been doing. So if anyone knows of a way to help with that, apart from not using your fingers, I've always just put up with it, but they've been very sore. Right, as long as we don't get any more bark in. Okay, so this is what one project I've been working on. And I do have, I think there's 2 or 3 kits left. I've put some kits together to do these. I've already pre-cut the wool for you. And the kits include some of these same fabrics, some of these vintage ones here. I don't think there's any tilde in them. Can't remember now. And they do include, I think they include 1 or 2 crocheted medallions or lace medallions and some yo-yos, a couple of yo-yos. So they're basically just a starter kit. I've put some together. There's 2 or 3 left over on my Instagram account at Gladys and Maud Unearthed, if anyone's interested. I will be doing my post office run tomorrow. I only go once a week, but sometimes I can get there on a Thursday as well. But at the moment I can only get there once a week, so I will be going tomorrow if you'd like your parcel in the mail. Those of you who have paid over the weekend, your parcels will be going in the mail tomorrow. Whoops. I was wondering why this was so nice to work with. I can't believe I didn't read that. Siberia. Funnily enough, I can't remember the project I bought it for. It was something I was doing with Guild. So if it was something with Guild, it's some time ago. Okay. Now, in a minute, I will... Oops, that's going a bit wonky. Wonky, wonky. So when I do these stitches, I'm trying to follow the weave of the fabric to keep my line straight-ish. Okay, so let's set that aside for a bit until while we jump over to the I just can't help it, can I? I'll just set this needle up for the next pass. Okay. So, the other thing I've got many things on the go, but I am currently pulling for another needle book, and part of this is as a kit from So Be. So this is the cover, the quilt, the vintage quilt that I will use as the cover. And then I want to put one of these in it. I've sort of folded it to where I want to either cut it or place it. So I'll be putting one of these, and I don't know the order yet. I haven't worked any of that out. I haven't decided whether I want to line this with something else. I think I will, mainly because this is a bit delicate and because I want to put pockets inside the cover, I think. So I haven't decided quite how to do this piece. There's still some yellowing on that. I have soaped this. I thought it had all come out. It's amazing how much you see out in the daylight. Might have to have another soap, I think. I'll find another one. So this top piece, how I've folded it down, normally I would cut that off, but I'm trying to work out how I can keep that as part of the page without cutting it off. I don't want to flip it because I want this to be down the bottom, in the bottom corner. And then on this side, I think this flap can probably remain and be used as a pocket. So this may be, it's likely this top bit will be cut off and I'll put a binding or something up there. I've got some doctor's flannel. Oh, for crying out loud. This just came out of the packet this morning and it's already got dog hair on it. Jesus Christ. I don't know how she manages to get her bloody hair so far flung. Here's another one. Okay. So I might even cut, this piece came in the kit, but I think I might cut a larger piece. I'd like that doctor's flannel to come out a little bit further in this direction. And then I've got this vintage wool. I can use this as another sleeve in this piece. I quite like this. I like that. And I've also got a piece of, now how on earth, there's so much I want to fit in this needle book, it's not going to fit. So that's just the wool. I also want to put a pouch in it, a zippered pouch, but I've also got other pieces. So got this piece. This came in the kit. So this could potentially be a pocket. I've got this piece that came in the kit. I've got this piece that came in the kit. And I've also got this piece that came in the kit. So I have not worked out how I'm going to use all these yet. I've also pulled this piece from my collection, which I'd like to include somewhere. And I've got another big pile of stuff here that I'd like to try and, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I've got this. Gosh, I can see so much yellowing on that. I miss all this inside. Some of these need to be soaked again. This could be used as a pocket. This is one of the pieces from Nairi. I've pulled this piece. obviously this will not all go in because it won't fit. So I've got to work out which pieces I'm going to use. I've also got, I want to put a lace page in. So I've got this lace. Obviously needs a soak again because there's a mark on there. I actually use this to make a bandana for my dog, would you believe? This beautiful vintage lace. So I've either got that one. I'm not going to use all of these. I'm just going to choose one. I actually bought one from my cousin the other day with the idea of using it, but now I'm not convinced it's the right one. Or I've got this one. Actually, this is the one I used. Maybe not. I used one of them to make the dog a bandana. Got this one, and I'll show you the one that I bought specifically with them in putting it in this. But I'm starting to lean a bit towards the first one I showed you. No, maybe not. Maybe I'll go back to this one. Looking at it again, I quite like it. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, so this is the piece I bought to put in this needle book. Look at that. Beautiful. So I'd like to put that in there. I've also pulled now I don't think this one will go in just because it's just not quite right. I have pulled this. I've pulled this one. This one. Look, that bloody, I cannot see that yellow inside. That is driving me bananas. Thinking I had it all nice and clean. So I've pulled that one. I don't, even though this is the right colours, it's just not quite the right style for me. It looks a little bit, I don't know, Mediterranean, I suppose, in my mind. Just don't quite feel like it fits. I've pulled some hankies to use in it. I've pulled this. I don't think that will go in. I don't think that will go in. That's not right. Yeah, so now that I look at these outside, some of these things I've pulled don't work. I thought this might work, but now I don't think it will. And the same with this one. Don't think that will work now. I've got a handful of other hankies here that I've pulled. I'm going to pull that out because I'm not convinced that will work. And I'm not going to use all of these. I'm still trying to decide which ones will work. And or how I'm going to use them. Now that's one my uncle had, so I think I'll only use that if I'm going to keep this, and I still haven't decided yet. I think I will. I haven't kept anything for myself for so long. I've also pulled this. And I thought I'd put this in, but I don't think it will work now. See, look, there's no way I'm going to be able to close this needle book. So, as I said, I need to work out what I actually want to put in and what I want to cull. And that's where I'm having a bit of an issue, trying to decide. I've got this lovely vintage fabric. I've got Some more puffs, yo-yos. I thought I'd like to put this in, but I think I'm going to put this in another one I've got in mind. This piece, and I've got matching little, so that's going to go straight away into something else, I think. I've got another pile of stuff up there that, oh goodness me, there's a lot more. These are all things I've actually been culling, trying to get this down. This is what I think I'll use as my tie. I think, even though there was a tie that came in the kit. Where's the one in the kit? This is the one that came in the kit. This just feels a little bit too fine for me for such a big book. I thought this might be nice for a pocket. A bit of this vintage lace that's come off an old, I think it was on a baby sheet. That one. And see, I've got all these bits, I don't know. I've got this one. This one. This one. I don't think I can practically get this one to work without losing too much of it. This one I pulled because it sort of matches the hanky that came in the kit. And this is a hanky that I thought would work in it. Another hanky. Some more doilies. Look, there's just... Normally I can't find enough, I can't pull enough stuff, but I thought this might come in handy for a pocket or an embellishment or something. Another little... Here's another one that sort of matches that original hanky. There's a lot of yellowing on that one too. And then there's a few of this one. And then I've got one of these. I've got another couple of yellow pieces and one blue piece with that on it. I thought this would be nice in it somehow. Look at this. So how I work out what to cull, and I have been pulling things out, I have been culling and culling and culling, but I just keep coming up with more. Oh, look at that as a page. Or this. There's a bit of the blue applique. Goodness, there's a bit more yellow up there. So, and I've got a vintage piece of Sanderson that I thought I'd like to try and get in it. Oh, and I've got this little pocket I got from my cousin. Now, I thought I'd soaked all that. No, that yellow wasn't there when I pulled it out of the soaker yesterday. And look, it's all... It's actually more yellowing on it now than there was when I got it. So how on earth I keep that yellowing out of these textiles, I don't know. I just can't work it out. I've got a few vintage textiles there that I thought I might integrate into it, but this is the piece I really want to try and get. I'm trying to fold it so you can see it. This vintage Sanderson linen, I thought a page with that might be nice in it. And then on top of all that, in my mind, I'm thinking I'd like to try and get a zippered pouch in it as well. So how the heck I'm going to fit things in this, I don't know. I haven't worked it out. I've just been culling and culling and culling, and yet, look at this. This lace. Isn't that beautiful? That's another piece from Nairi. So, yeah, I'm a bit, I just thought that would make a great pocket in a needle book. I'm a bit baffled as to how. I think maybe I should cull that straight away, only because it's got the purple in it and the whole theme seems to be blue and yellow. So maybe that's a straight up cull, even though I love it. This could work, but do I need it? I don't know yet. Same as this. Now this has actually got a bit missing. I could technically repair that. That's a maybe. That's a linen one. This is gorgeous, but I just don't think it fits in with the style. So I think we'll end up culling this one. Hey, let's cull that one. That's a cull. This could potentially work, a piece of this. So we'll leave that out for now. This could, I think this will work, but I've got so many other pieces with sort of matching embroidery, so let's cull that one. This is a contender. If I'm going to use that original piece from the kit, because it sort of matches, so that's a contender. I think at this stage this is still a contender. This is potentially a contender. This could be used as an embellishment. As much as I like this piece, and it is the right colours, I'm just thinking it actually pulls in this vintage 50s fabric as well. But then I'm bringing in more colours, so let's cull those two straight up. I won't pull that out from under there. This will work, but I don't know how to explain what I'm thinking. The sunflowers just don't feel like they flow, I suppose. So let's cull that one. This could work, this little hanky. This could be a contender. It looks like it needs to go for a soak. So many things I can see out here, it's doing my head in. This is a contender. I think this hanky could work quite well. This is the right colours, but the style, something about it just doesn't feel like it fits. So let's cull that one. This is a contender because we go back to its sort of the similar style to that original hanky that came in the kit. I think I'm going to cull this because if I stick this in this needle book, I'll lose too much of that detail. So let's cull that one. I really like this. I can see I can get this to work, but I'm bringing in pink. And I don't think, as I said, I don't really want to be bringing in too many more colours. So let's cull that for now. Same as this one, let's cull that. Anyhow, I still think I like this for potential pockets. So we'll keep that one in the mix. This came with the kit, so we'll keep this in the mix. This is my potential tie, so we'll keep that in the mix. I bought this at the same time, but I don't think I want to use it in this needle book, so we'll pull that out for now. That's that 50s fabric I was talking about, although I love it, and I did buy it it was an apron. I did buy it specifically for this needle book, but it's another colour, so let's pull that out straight up. This, again, it's bringing in another colour. There's a little bit of damage to the crochet, so let's pull that one. This could potentially work. I'm just thinking if it's bringing in another theme. Yes and no, so we'll hang on to that for now. This could potentially work as well. It's quite fine. There is little bits of damage, and I don't know whether to use it as a piece like this or to harvest it. So we'll sit that over here in the maybes. I'm just going to move these as well. These are ones I don't want to bring these colours in, so I'm going to cull those straight away. That's been culled already. I don't think those laces are what I'm after, so we'll hang on to that for now. I pulled this one because A, it's linen, and B, because it's got a little bit of blue in it. And I like this edge. I'm not sure about style. Let's just hang on to it for now and come back to it. This one's cotton, and as I said, it was from my uncle's collection, and I'm very hesitant to use it unless I'm going to keep this needle book. It will work in with these. It sort of matches in the style of that original hanky. So yeah, I'm still umming and ahhing. Let's put that in the maybe. I like the colour of this. The colour of this works well with the theme I've got going, so we'll hang on to that one for now. I mean, this is going to work in almost anything, this one. It looks like linen, but it feels like cotton. Don't know what that is. Could be linen. Well, that's bizarre. It looks like it's got a bloody lizard poop in it. Oh, it's a staple. I thought that was a lizard poop. It's a bloody staple. Well, how about that? Anyway, I'll set that one aside because I've got so many bloody hankies. This one's definitely linen. Pretty sure I got this from my cousins the other day. It's very pretty, but I don't think it's going to work, so we'll pull that. This one I think could work in this, so we'll keep that one out. Both of these could work, but there's something about them that's, maybe it's because, I don't know. I'm going to pull them. This is one of the very first ones I pulled for this needle book. It's linen, it's hand crocheted. I'll still keep this one out for now. This is the other original one I pulled, but I don't think it's going to work for what I've got in mind, so let's pull that one. That I'm still umming and ahhing about. I think I'll pull that for now. Again, this is bringing more colour in that. Just not sure about that one. I mean, it would make a gorgeous page. Let's cull that for now. Same as this, I'm just not convinced that's... Yeah, I don't know. I might hang on to that one for now. Thinking, I might hang on to that one and cull that one, I think, because that one just doesn't quite work in with that original style. That could potentially work. I can't get over how yellow these are out here. That could potentially work. I'd like to get this in somehow. And here we are back to our original kit, but we've got a lot of wool happening down here. I love the colour of the wool blanketing as a page. Bloody hell, that wasn't on there when I cut this up. Where is this coming from? Goodness me. So, this is the original. There was some, where are they? There was some, these came with the, some vintage puffs that came with it as well. I mean, I don't have to keep all the stuff from the original kit, but I do like it. I love the colour of this blanketing with it, and that sort of matches well with that original, that napkin I want to use in it. This colour isn't the same blue, but I love that piece of wool. Might end up culling the blanket just because it's so thick, especially if I want to fit the zippered pouch in. I don't know about you, but I find this so difficult to pull these bits, to get these happening. What I usually end up doing is just start on the cover. I'll start on the cover and then go from there. Do my next page and then my next one and just see how they work in together. I find it very difficult to pre-plan it because it just doesn't quite work for me for some reason. So let's oh, there's some yellowing on that. I'm happy about that. Now this was in the original kit from Beck, and I can see yellowing on that out here, and that has made me incredibly happy because now I know that it's not something I'm doing or not doing to remove the yellowing. That's made me very happy. I didn't realise this was variegated, the blue on this. I can't work out how that's been done because, unless it's just a coincidence that this blue's lined up with this blue, the darker blue, because it looks like there's just a thread all the way around, which I'm assuming must have been done by hand because I don't think there's any other way it could have been done like that. That hem's done by hand and that stitching's done by hand. Okay. So even though I love the colour of this, it is quite chunky. Don't know what on earth has gotten onto it. I don't eat near it, so I'm assuming this is something the dog's got on it somehow. I don't know how. I don't know how she gets near this stuff, but it's driving me bananas at the moment. So, oh, that looks good. Yeah, love the colour. Don't know if I can get that piece to work. This piece on the other hand, it's not the right colour as I said, but it's a beautiful piece of wool. I'd like to try and get it in. And then this doctor's flannel, for my liking, needs to be a little bit wider. Another 1.5 inches, 2 inches would be good. So I think I'll cut another piece to fit in there. Yes, I want to use that. Now I think part of me I feel like I think I want that to be when you open it up. That will be the first thing we see on the right hand side. Here I want to put something else. I want to put a pocket on the inside cover, but how? I want to put a lining on this. What are we going to line it with? I'd prefer to use vintage fabrics, but I don't really have anything. That would work, I don't think. Let's have a look. That, one of the ones I did, I think it might have been the first one I did, I lined it with wool, with doctor's flannel. But then I put the pocket over it, so I felt like there was a lot of that potential wool tool holding area was wasted. I don't think the Sanderson will work as a liner because the print's too big, more than anything. Let's have a quick look. I mean, I'd probably fussy cut it and position the flowers so they're a bit more visible. But if I used that as the liner and then put a pocket, we're going to lose a lot of that as well. I don't know what to use in there. I do have now these are vintage, but they're nowhere near the age of the cover. Do I want a double blue? I don't like that together. Although, I thought this was too yellow, but the flowers in here are a very similar blue, so that could potentially work. Remembering that a big part of this will be covered with a pocket. So that might be a contender, maybe. I'm going to put that in the maybe pile. Then I've got, don't have enough, I've got a bit more of this. This is vintage Actal sheeting, and it's the most beautiful, beautiful cotton sheeting I've ever come across. It's from the 50s, I believe. And it dyes really well. It takes up eco dyeing so well. And I've been using it for that, so I don't have much left. This is another vintage piece that again isn't the same age as the... I mean, none of it's the same age as the quilt. The quilt's very special. Again, it's not the right blue for my liking. I think I need blue against blue to open up. It's just too much. And then I've got this colour. This is a bit out there, but this is an older piece. This is, I believe, from the 50s. So this could be a potential contender. It's a bit in your face though, isn't it? Sort of works though. And then, you know, remembering that we've got I don't know, it's a bit loud for me. It's quite loud, isn't it? Oh, jeebus, what am I going to do? At this point, I just want something to line it so I can get started. I just think that's too loud. I could use, potentially, now these are from the same pack, but they're different colours. So potentially I could use the same blue and then have something like, where is it? Where did I put that? Something like that is the pocket. So that's what you see when you open up. I think that's my top option so far. Something like that. This is challenging me. Where's the edge of that? That's gonna, yeah, that's gonna have to drop down so we're not seeing that. That pocket won't be as high. It's going to have to drop down to about there, because that's the edge of the quilt along down there, which is out of your view. That's the edge of the quilt. We don't want that where that seam is frayed and damaged, so we're going to have to cut that off really. We don't want that. So potentially pull that down a little bit. That pocket will be about that high and about, roughly about that big-ish to give you an idea. That might work. It's got potential. It's got potential. That will be the cover. We open that up. Now what I want to do with this, like I did with my first one, I think, is what I want to do. Let's move this out of the way. When I attach the backing to these pieces, I don't think I can save the scalloped edge on this. So what I do, I'll go and press it all, and then I will very gently baste it on. Very gently, because all of those needles going in and out of this antique quilt is going to wear it, and we don't want to do that. So I will very gently baste that on, and then I will do the am I going to do I've just had a thought. Now the first one I did like cantha stitch all over it, okay? I'm just wondering if I should go over the hexagons instead and use that as my quilting. Once I've done that, I like to do a blanket stitch all the way around just to neaten it up and hold it all together. And I'd also like, I actually squeezed that in between there, didn't I? So that's something else I have to be mindful of. If I have enough, I like to get something like, I do have a bit here, I've just got to find it. All these bits I've pressed, I've just accidentally screwed up. Now somewhere here I do have where is it gone? Where? Here it is. So I would like to put, and I don't know if this will be the one I use, some salvaged crocheted edge, and I sort of sandwich that in between the quilt and the lining, and then I'll do the blanket stitch to hold it all together nice and neatly. I do like that. So I have to go and see what salvaged crocheted edging I have. Make sure I have it facing right side out. And yeah, so that's going to be my first step. Don't know if this will be enough. The other thing is there's corners, and sometimes you can use those to your advantage. But sometimes, see, sometimes you can manipulate it. You know, put a tuck there where that corner is so you've still got a straight edge. See that? So I've just tucked that corner and now we've got a straight edge. Hang on, I'll try and show you here. There we go. Now this one's a bit of a different story because it faces the opposite direction. So potentially I could snip up here a little closer and pull that out, but that, oh well, might not even have to worry about it if we just straighten it out. Get a little bit of a rise there, but just manipulate it with your needle as you're stitching. Thinking, thinking, thinking. It's a big loop. Look at that. I don't think anything's come undone there. It's just a big, they've missed a bit. Or they've made that loop very big by the looks. So potentially I can salvage this crochet edge for this piece. There should be enough. Oh, yeah, there might just be enough to go around the needlebook. But I was hoping for something a little chunkier on this one, so I'll have to go and look in my stash and see if I've got... I really liked the one I used on the first needlebook, but I'm pretty sure I don't have enough of that left. So that's where I'm up to. I really want to get this needlebook started. I do have some needlebooks already started, which if you follow along you would have seen those. I haven't brought them out today. I'm getting tired of schlepping everything in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. That does look good on that though, doesn't it? Look at that. Where's that bit of lace I was thinking of using as my tie? That does look good too. Maybe I can do a double. No, don't like that. Oh, I really like that. Might have to go through my lace and I don't know. I just didn't think that was wide, chunky enough for what I envisage for this piece. I do like the lace though. Anyway, that's something I've started working on, and I think I will keep this piece for myself. I haven't kept anything for ages. We'll see how we go with it anyway. I might change my mind when I'm finished it. Yeah. There's my lovely lace that I'd like to get in there. The only reason I'm skeptical about this piece, I believe this is most likely 50s, maybe 60s. The reason I'm skeptical about this piece is because I just feel like that motif is a little bit too large for the scale, for the rest of it. When we compare it to the other one that I'm considering, wherever I've put it, here it is. No. This one. The size of the motif just feels a bit better. Similar size to the size of these hexagons on the cover. I don't know, like I said, even though I bought this piece thinking I'd put it in, I'm starting to think this might be a better option. Let me know what you think, if you've been able to see it clearly enough. So I suppose we could go do a bit more stitching on the bowl that I'm still not sure about. I don't know if I like this at all at the moment. I haven't worked out yet what I'm going to make the zippered pouch out of that I'd like to put in that needle book. Originally that napkin, that second napkin I pulled out that I laid down for the liner, that's what I was thinking I would use as the base to do a bit of a collage, textile collage onto on one side for the zippered pouch. But now I'm thinking maybe just a piece of vintage white linen. Oh, I don't know, because most of it gets covered and I don't want to use a nice looking textile if I'm just going to cover it with layers of pretty vintage stuff. If that makes sense. I mean, not if that makes sense, if I'm articulating clearly in my thoughts. I've run out of things to say. That's a bit unusual. Crikey, I've been going at this for an hour already. That's gone quick. Look at that. I thought I had covered that, so I'm going to have to cover that with something else because there's a bit of a... I haven't pulled this piece up high enough to cover that edge. That's a bit sloppy. I tell you what, even though I wash my hands every time before I start stitching, this is looking very grubby. And mind you, I did take it to a party the other night. I was sitting there doing some stitching, and at one stage through the night it was passed around as a hat. And the boys were wearing it as a hat. So that may have contributed to it looking very grubby, I would say. I'm thinking haven't pulled it out here. And I don't know if it'll work. I'm thinking when this is turned right side out, I mean, in theory it should be reversible, but I think I'd like to somehow have this sitting in the bottom, attach that. I don't know if it's going to work, but I thought it might look good with the little teacup sitting in the bottom of it. Little Tilda. I do like it. Yeah, might still go ahead with that at this stage. Been saving this for ages. I just don't think it fits the vibe of this. Goodness, it's very grubby. I feel like putting that there, but I've got... Oh, I know. What about... No, it's a bit big. Not that it matters. I mean, I can cut it. But I don't want to waste any of it because I don't have much of it left. Surely I've got more blue bits. I don't have a great deal of vintage fabrics, so I am limited to what I can use. I'm just going through I've got a bit of a little container here with bits and pieces. What about that one? That's better. Might put that one there, I think. Where did I put the needle? I pulled it out, didn't I? Must be in the pin cushion because I can't find it anywhere else. Oops, wrong bit. I'm just trying to thread the needle, guys. Okay. Where are we? I've seen some people have commented that they found these really easy. I haven't. I found them really challenging. I mean, the top part's not too bad, but as you move down, it gets challenging to stitch. And then even picking colours. I mean, I always struggle with picking colours, so that's nothing unusual for me, really. I'm just securing that thread in that wool instead of putting a knot. Okay. Cut my thread too long. I'm very consciously trying to use a different finger to pull that through because that middle finger is so bloody sore and I keep getting it right in the same spot every time I use it. That's the finger I naturally use without thinking about it. I've also done my stitching in different directions, so this one goes across that way, this one on the other side goes across that way, this one I'm doing up and down. They don't all alternate. This one's up and down, across, across. It just depends on the fabric, really. I'll let the fabric tell me what I can do with it. Okay. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is one of the kits I put together, and there are maybe 3 left on my Instagram at the moment. if you'd like to buy it. And they're just starter kits, you know. You're not going to have everything in there you need to do your pinch pot. It's got the wool, and there's some of these fabrics in there. And there's a couple of little crocheted medallions and lace pieces. But it should be enough to get you started. I've already cut out the wool for you, so all you've got to do is put it together. I've done all the hard bits. Oh, goodness me. And I'm basing it off the tutorial by Sarah, Roxy Creations by Sarah. She's done a great tutorial on how to do these. I know I said I'd put the link up in my last video. I will, I just haven't got to it yet. I apologise. I will get it there, guys. That car made a funny sound as it drove past, sort of a whoo, like what are they called? Turbo. That's what it was. I heard its turbo whirling. Oops, don't knock those vintage fabrics off. Yeah, it's back again, that whirl. Must have a turbo in it. Don't know who it is. Whoa. Don't even know what it is. It looks like a new Toyota, like a little sedan. I mean, it's not going to be that little. They're never little anymore, are they? Just thought that sound was interesting. Ooh, sort of like that. It's a delivery driver across the road. Oh, this does get difficult. I'm not sure how people say they're easy to do. I don't think they are. But then I have seen a lot of them done where the fabrics are just stitched on around the patch. They haven't got all the running stitches through them, and I'm thinking that they might be a lot of the ones where people are commenting these are really easy to do. I'll have to have a look again. I didn't pay that much attention, because I think even doing that would be much easier than these running stitches, to be honest. Trying to get it the shape of the bowl and trying to get the stitches to go in the direction you want them to go, and holding it, and yeah, I just find it, I don't find it that easy. Oh, come on. It's getting, some spots are getting harder and harder and harder to pull that. There's layers and layers. It's hard, it's thick, I mean, it should last forever, really. It's that. Reminds me of, I went to one of the art fairs years ago, and there was a fellow there selling vintage kimonos, but he had a sample, a display piece up. And I apologise, I don't remember what it was called, but essentially it was like a 200 or 300-year-old Japanese firefighter's coat. And it had layers and layers and layers and layers of this sort of cantha stitching and indigo fabrics. It was all indigo, and you could see when you went up, you're allowed to touch it, it was hanging up, and it was so heavy. I don't know what they'd lined it with. Potentially just, the fellow did tell me and I can't remember. I think it was just all fabric, but it would have been at least sort of this thick, and it was just all layers and layers and layers, and it was stiff because it was just stitched, and every time it wore they'd put another patch on, and that was his protective, apparently a protective jacket for firefighting. It was unreal. It was, I think it's something I will not forget anytime soon. But anyway, all I'm going to be doing here now is more stitching on this bowl for now. It's getting cold out here and windy. The clouds are moving in. It's not as late in the day as I normally do. It's earlier. It's 2:15. It's later than I thought it was, actually. So I might wind up. I'm just thinking, I did pull some hexagons I thought of putting on here, but I don't think they're the right colours, and they're a bit big. White one, yeah, no, I'm not happy with those. They're not right. Look at that candy pink on that, doesn't work for me. So anyway, this is what I'm going to be doing. I might put a, I don't know, just thinking, because it's cool, thinking I might put a pot of soup on, but don't know. I'm starting to think that winter may have arrived, or at least autumn. We had a big change in weather on, must have been Friday afternoon, I think. We had rain, the temperature dropped, and it's been cold and windy ever since. So I'm starting to think this might be the start of the winter season moving in. There's still a lot of birds around though. All the lorikeets and cockatoos and corellas, and that's mainly what we've got at the moment. I mean, there's other birds, but what you can hear are, I want to say rainbow lorikeets, but that actually sounds like, it might be scalies. They sound different to rainbows. There's a kookaburra. Oops. That didn't help, did it? Some kind of lorikeet. We mainly have rainbow lorikeets here. There's hundreds, maybe thousands of them. And when they fly over en masse, it is deafening. I just spotted a bit of childer in my jar that has been stashed away for years. Just bits of offcuts, scrappy bits. Don't even know why I've hung on to this. Look at what it is. It's just crap. But why on earth have I hung on? Oh, I might have hung on to this to make little beads. Like, what are they called? Ort beads. I know this isn't an ort, like what's normally in an ort jar, but I was sort of using some of these scraps rolled up as a base to wrap the threads around, if that makes sense. There's a lot of crap in here, but some of this might be okay. Look at that piece. That's okay. That'd be usable for these bowls. That piece would be. This isn't what I spotted yet. I haven't got to it. Some of that would potentially be usable. But where is it? Oh, that's a bit of French General over there. Where the heck did it go? Here we go. There's a little bit. There's a little bit of Tilda. Not much. That's what I used as a binding. There's another bit. Oh, that's a bit exciting. I could potentially get those on there. Looks like that's it. I spotted that bit in the jar. A bit of jelly bean, not much of that left. That's not very usable. Some French General. Doesn't really match in. Well, how about that? Might be a couple of little salvageable bits there. Maybe, maybe not. Ugh. It smells like old fabrics from Grandma's. A bit of black in there. That's been sitting on this desk for a while. It's sort of just as a decorative thing. I haven't paid much attention to it. And I just spotted that little bit of Tilda. I thought, oh, there's a lot of crap there. A lot of, look, it's just shredded. It's not very useful for anything, is it? Look at that, all that silk. That'd be good in the bought jar. But yeah, that's not, there's not much there that's usable. Well, how about that? It's amazing to think that all that just came out of this little jar. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye, guys. Thank you once again for joining me. I hope I haven't bored you silly. I've just spotted a whole heap more fabric down here beside me. Look at all these bits. There's a big pile of it. Look at that. This is potentially usable. Look at this. This was just in a pile, in a box beside me, ready to be thrown out. So all that could potentially be used for these bloody scrappy bowls. How about that? Look at all that. I mean, there's bits here that's no good. Look, that's not really any good for much of anything. But some might be. Anyway, let's try again. I'm going to say goodbye. Listen to that wind picking up. Can you hear that? Holy dooly. We have been getting graziers warnings for the last 3 days and severe wind warnings, but it hasn't been this windy until now. Those poor birds are getting blown out of the trees. I might have to strap down the things beside the carport, maybe, by the look of this. Isn't it amazing how far those trees can bend in the wind like this? Some of those big gum trees beside me are almost laying down. Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but they're incredibly flexible. The great big 15, 20 foot grass beside me is almost laying down. The neighbours have got these. I don't know what it is. It's a type of grass, but it's about 20 foot high. And they sort of grow it in rows to stop the wind. The wind sort of tunnels up beside the properties between the houses. So they've grown it strategically to stop it gusting up through, like tunneling through the houses. It's almost laying down in this wind. Anyway, enough of that. I'm sure you don't want to listen to me prattling on about the weather. Once again, how many times do I do this? I do this every time, don't I? To say goodbye. I thank you all so very, very, very much for joining me again today. It's great to have you here. If you have commented during this live, I apologise sincerely that I haven't seen your comments. I just haven't seen any pop up today, so I'm assuming no one has. I will upload this so you can go back and watch it. I will put some links in it, especially for Sarah's tutorial for the pinch pot. And if you're interested in looking at / buying one of the starter kits I've got, they're at Gladys and Maud Unearthed on Instagram. There should be a link. I'm pretty sure I've got a link in my bio, in my YouTube bio you can go to. Those of you who have paid for your purchases over the weekend, they will go in the mail tomorrow and I'll send you a tracking number. But apart from that, I think that's about it for today. Thank you again for joining me. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments after I've uploaded this. If you do it now, I won't be able to find them. They disappear. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you again. And I'll see you next time. Be safe, guys.